Here we are.
Here we are. Oh my
What
gosh.
up, nerds?
Hey everyone, welcome to She's Good, a podcast about women's sports. What's up? My name's Julia.
I'm Mary Beth.
And I'm Katie.
And, you know, the three of us do She's Good, a podcast, what you're listening to right now, or watching. And we talk about women's sports. Some of it's news, some of it's talking to friends about women's sports, some of it's learning about a sport. And it's what it all is, though, is supporting the incredible female athletes and non-binary and women's sports in general. That's what we do here. So if you're not on board with it, you can get the heck out.
Go
Passionate.
home.
We're very passionate.
Close your Spotify app and leave.
We're passionate. And so Katie and Mary Beth, today's episode. Today is a Saturday. We're recording on a Saturday, into the new year of January 2021.
You've made it.
True. We've made it a week, and we've only had like a coup and like some banning from Twitter.
It's been a long week.
Yeah.
The most eventful week maybe in history. This week and it's not over. The thing is.
No.
It's still Saturday.
It's only Saturday.
Oh my God. We hope that this is the beginning of like better things though. I mean, I don't know how it can be better after what we've just seen, but you know what? This is a women's sports podcast.
Yeah, that's a conversation for another podcast.
Real quick though, it's also the first episode that we are on the Planet Ant Podcast Network.
Hey.
That's very exciting for us. We love the Planet Ant, incredible theater in Hamtramck, Michigan, that we, grew up loving. Grew up from age
roughly 23 or 24 for all of us.
Oh,
but
man.
still, the love is deep.
The love is deep. It's as if we grew up our full lives.
Yes.
And the other fun thing about this episode is that it is a 2020 women's sports best moments in history.
Yeah. At least like starting in
June, July. Yeah.
From when we started.
Because that's when we started watching women's
Actually,
sports.
I have one from earlier, which
Whoa.
we'll get into.
Oh. Yeah, basically we're just going to talk about our favorite
sports.
Without us? Yeah. How dare you?
Yeah, right.
But basically we're just going to talk about our favorite sports moments this year.
Yeah.
In no particular order, not ranked, just a free-for-all.
Just a chat. Because we have watched many hours of sports during the pandemic, I think.
Yeah.
It has been what's gotten us through. So
and it's been super, fun to learn about these teams and leagues and everything and talk with each other about it, so that we thought that we could do a nice little, it's the beginning of a new year. We'll do a recap of the old years. We chose anywhere from 3 to 15 of our favorite moments.
Depending on our preparation skills.
Some of us have been doing this for a while. Some of us did it this morning.
Some of us have copious notes. Some of us scribbled them down as Julia was sending the link to get this Zoom started.
Which was a whole ordeal in itself, which we won't get into by any stretch of the imagination, but
we're all
picture
doing great
chaos,
today. Everyone just know we're doing great. We're feeling great. You may see us crack a beer even though it's noon.
We're trying our best. Whatever.
It's all anyone asks of us. Yeah. I've got also 6 computers up right now, which is part of the morning, but it's fine. So Kitty and Mary Beth, do you guys want to start getting into these moments?
Yes, let's do it.
I figured we'd have a sound effect.
Okay, that's a good one.
Before
should
everyone,
we each have our own sound effect. I want mine to be.
Let's just. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's Katie's.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. I can start. I think this probably is like expected. Just because I talk about it a lot. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a moment, but I would just say the year of Christy Mewis is probably one of my favorite 2020 moments, I guess. It's a moment.
Yeah, I've been proud.
Yes.
And real quick, these are moments. It's like a loose, it's like under like the moments umbrella. Yes.
Totally.
Year of Christy Mewis for sure.
The year of Christy Mewis, just watching her like really #thrive with the dash this summer at the Challenge Cup into the fall series, and then making her way back with the U.S. women's national team and scoring a goal. And she's on the roster for this January camp and possibly these 2 January games. So proud of Christy. Yeah. And it's funny though, because I was thinking about this and I was like, you know what? I don't know her. I think if we knew each other, we would not like each other. Like, I think that is very true.
I think if you and Sam knew each other, you would like each other. But I
do think that's true.
Think that I do agree with you.
Making assumptions of what you think who this human is, because like again, to be clear, we don't know them.
Oh, but we know enough.
I think we know enough, and I also think I know myself, and I just don't know that she would like me. But I don't think I'd like her either. But I think she's great.
Let's call her up.
And I think let's text her
at AOL.com, Soccer HQ.
But I think like just to why I bring that up is to say it's not all about Christy as a person. I think it's more about like the idea that someone has like this dream and it's kind of like fallen off, the path that they're on, and like how she fought back and did whatever she had to do to get back to that place. I think it's like super inspiring and just like really, it was a fun thing to watch because she just killed it,
agree.
And
it was. Someone should make a Disney movie about it. A live action Disney film.
I honestly would not mind that. Wait, but do you know the number? Like there's a number from when she got her her last U.S. women's national team goal, and then injuries and all the shit went down, and then this past goal. There's like a number that keeps getting
how many days? I think it's like it's in the 2000s, but
it's like
2,552
or something like
so
crazy
cool.
like that.
It's basically like 6 years, right? 6 or 7 years. I think it's 6. I don't know.
I think it's 7 years since her first cap, but 6 years since her last goal, maybe. I don't know. But it is a long time. So
she'll correct us when she comes to your house to confront you about saying you don't like her.
Yeah. No,
I didn't even say I didn't like her.
For when Christy listens to this, you have to know that like we're just positing. You know what I mean?
And I didn't even say I didn't like her. I just said like we're different.
Yes, I understand what you mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, do I think me and Becky would be great friends? Yeah, because we talk about books. Because that girl reads a lot of books. So, yeah. But that's one of my moments.
Well,
yeah. What about you, Mary Beth?
Yeah, Mary Beth, you go.
I believe it was this.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Close.
Sorry to everybody that just had to hear me do that so close to the microphone. I would say the first one on my list, this again, not ranked necessarily in order of what I enjoyed. Well, I did enjoy figuring out Athletes Unlimited softball. I feel like you guys watched me go through this in real time because I think I talked about it excitedly in many episode. So I'm not going to go into like the scoring systems again, but it's so fascinating to me how they have a team sport, but no teams, no set teams, and no team winner. Like it's all individual.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm obsessed with it.
It's fascinating. And that's one of my favorite things too, is you learning that. It's not on my list, but I will say that it's one of my favorite things.
I agree. And because teaching us.
Yep. And you being able to answer all of our questions. It also reminds me of like all the like statistics and stuff that goes into baseball that I keep talking about.
Now that you've watched Moneyball.
Sorry, I don't know if you guys
Can't
know,
let
but I
it
did
go.
watch Moneyball in preparation for our last episode. It was a great movie. Fantastic actors. I should shout them out. Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill. I think they're sort of like newish. I don't know. Anyway,
They deserve the shout out. They need it. They
think you need
the
to.
promo.
but like all of it's not just someone like coming up with point system. You have to like intricately know like how softball works and stuff to like create this point system that makes it fair for every player on the team,
Yeah,
which I bet was fun to come up with.
Yeah, and especially when there's so many, like a pitcher and an outfielder, like how do you do a point system that's like fair to both of them? And then they made it work because I don't know, pitchers can accrue points very quickly, but also things can go very wrong for them. So
can go south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then something else about Athletes Unlimited, that this was a separate item on my list, but I feel like we can talk about them together. And this may have just been a fever dream of mine, because in making my list, I've never been able to find proof that this happened, and you guys didn't see it. But that big book, that big weird book, is one of my
just gonna bring it up.
Yes.
Sorry. There's the huge, I think it was called the Book of Unlimited. Is that correct?
Yeah. And they filled in the first page.
Yeah. So like this book, and
I only know about this boke because of you.
Because
so
of
like,
yeah,
the fact that you're like, that's what it was called.
Like,
I'm like,
maybe
I don't know.
I made it up. I don't know, because I've searched the internet. I can't find a picture of it. I can't find a video of it happening. But I remember walking out of this basement to my television to this freezing cold ceremony after Athletes Unlimited final game. And they're doing this medal ceremony. And then they cut to this lady that I can, in my mind, it's the lady from Poltergeist. You know, like the lady that's like, Carol Ann, go to the light, Carol Ann.
The short lady with the glasses.
Yeah. I'm sure she didn't look like that, and I apologize to her. Her stands are going to come for me. She's a calligrapher.
Athletes Unlimited calligrapher stands. Hired for 1 hour. Are
going to be mad at me, but I do enjoy the Poltergeist lady, so that's not a slight to her. She opens up this big book, for those that are watching on YouTube, like this thick of a book, I swear. Again, maybe my mind is playing tricks on me and it's fake, but it looked like book from Hocus Pocus. And they just on the first page wrote Kat Osterman's name, the winner of the first Athletes Unlimited in calligraphy. They filled in her name, but that means all of the other pages in this book are blank, which means they are preparing for centuries of Athletes Unlimited seasons.
This is going to be honestly, a historic moment for them.
I'm obsessed with the book.
Aim high.
Yeah, and I'm sure like because there's other sports that are going in there, it's not as many as we think, but also the idea of it is so funny to me.
And it's also just Kat Osterman. It doesn't say date or anything.
It's just the first page.
Oh my god, that's
no. I'm sure it said other stuff like first winner, whatever, but. Just the first page is filled in. The other page, you open it up and it's like a they've hidden treasure in it.
Yeah. Yeah, like a bunch of Snickers bars. That's treasure to me, but that's how I imagine it. But I will say that I did watch for the first time Hocus Pocus this Halloween time. And when that book, that's all I could think about when the book was on screen.
Also, though, can we discuss you've never seen Hocus Pocus before?
Yeah, that is a lot. That's
I'm going to spend the rest of this episode reckoning with that.
I don't understand how it happened, but I'm glad that I did.
I'm glad you did too. Did you know that back when they were like burning witches and stuff, one of the ways that they one of the accepted proofs that you were a witch was if another accused witch said you were a witch. So if Julia was accused of being a witch and said Katie's a witch, then I would get killed.
Even if I wasn't or whatever, it would just have to be...
none of us are witches.
Can you imagine how
if you were accused of being a witch and you said, oh, that bitch is a witch too.
But imagine how fast the entire population of the United States of America would die.
Oh my God, literally everyone. But all you have to do is be accused. I could be like, I'm not a witch. I'm literally not a witch.
Because once you're accused, you can't prove you're not.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay.
because you're not a witch. So
Oh, that's true.
so there's no way to prove you're not, because you're not one. They just want to say you are one.
Yeah, that's so true. Is that what the Crucible's about?
That's exactly what the Crucible's about.
That
Okay.
exact.
And
I'm
on
not
that,
a
we'll
witch.
move on to our
It's not
next.
McCarthyism, you know. Yeah, Julia, what was your moment?
Okay,
Which
so
is?
the first one I wrote down. I'll get to it because it is my background. It's when the WNBA canceled their game to protest the police shooting of Jacob Blake. And this was in solidarity with the NBA, and then a bunch of other sports leagues did it as well. But it was sort of just an iconic moment in general in the midst of like just some, god awful shit in our country. And, of course, WNBA has been, the front runners of social justice for forever. But I think that the canceling of a game and instead using it as like, I think NECA called it a reflection moment, not so much a strike or a boycott or anything like that, but a moment of reflection, is so powerful. And then just this image, if you are watching, of them standing, arm in arm. They dedicated their entire season to making people aware of and protesting against police brutality on Black people. And it was the whole season was about Breonna Taylor and say her name and everything. And in the midst of that, just like a horrendous murder of Jacob Blake, like they used their platform for, he didn't die. So sorry.
Yeah,
Died, but it was still horrendous. So
but
we
it's
can
still
stick with
horrendous. But yeah,
shooting.
Yeah. I think too, Julia, like specifically from what I like read about their decision to do that, a lot of it, and I just want to like shout out the Washington Mystics because it from what I read, it seemed like a lot of what propelled them to do that was that team specifically saying like they had a lot of conversations between teams, and then they left the court and they were like, we might play. And then the Washington Mystics were like, we're not going to play. Like they were the ones that finally said like, we're not going to play. And credit to the rest of the teams and the rest of, the WNBA that they were like, yeah, and we're not going to play too, like in solidarity. But somebody has to be the one to say like, we're not going to do it. And that was the Mystics. And so like, that's the picture you have behind you. So like, kudos to them.
Totally.
And then how they took that moment and they didn't just like, they were supposed to be on TV and they were still on TV. They were just talking about these issues and stuff like that. So
yeah,
exactly.
which is great because like it could have cut to anything else, but they stayed there and they actually got their message out rather than just saying we're not going to play and then not discussing why, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a great point because in the decision to play or to not play, they even said like, we're strongest when we're on the court together or whatever, which was one of their like reasonings to like, all right, you know what, we should play because this is who we are.
Yep.
But then for them to still, be on the court together is a powerful statement.
Right. And to also like they didn't have to explain to us why. Like they don't owe us that. And so the fact that they chose to like stick around and be like, hey, America, this is shitty and we're gonna still talk about it even though we maybe don't want to, is also
absolutely
great of them.
And I think like one of the things that sort of rings loudly to me is that like 2020 was really I feel like kind of the year was defined by the Black Lives Matter movement, which has obviously been going on for years, but and then obviously the pandemic and those things together makes it so weird to have sports going on. And it has to be so odd to just play in the midst of, these two like major reckonings going on, and especially for the WNBA. And so it makes perfect sense for them to dedicate their season to this, but it just was like, when you think about 2020, it's wild to think that there were sports going on, but then to use them in this way, like the WNBA did, is like really powerful.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Last thing I want to add on this.
WNBA.
Same. Last thing I want to add on this is I was listening. I follow Sonia Renee Taylor on Instagram, and I feel like everybody should. But she was sort of talking about this moment and talking about how all the leagues in general, like deciding not to play a game and protesting of Jacob Blake's shooting, is that the system is only as powerful as we let it be. Like anything can just be broken down. I think it's like sort of a representation of any sort of system we have in this godforsaken country. That if we don't like just play into these like basically man-made systems that we just decided this is how it has to be, we can use that to like break it down and like make a change.
Right. Because it's like, well, we have to play basketball. It's like, no, you don't.
Yeah, you
like,
don't.
You just like, you don't. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. That's a really good point.
Anyway, heavier one, but
so like, but that was so
very
much
defining. Very defining.
So much of the WNBA.
Because there was more than just that specific night. Like their whole season was dedicated to like, look at we just had the election where Kelly Loeffler lost. They like started that because she pissed them off.
Yeah.
Which I love. The ultimate.
That would have been the moment, except it happened in 2021.
In 2021.
Yep. Oh man.
But I mean, that is why I love the WNBA, because I feel like a lot of times when I'm watching sports, or when I used to watch sports, like college sports or, the NFL or whatever, I felt like it wasn't for me. Like I felt like it just wasn't made for me. Like, there wasn't a thought, like, I don't know. And the WNBA, I feel like watching it, I'm like, it's not the basketball is great, but also I knew nothing about basketball. Like, and now I know a lot, not that much, but it was about more than that. I still don't know much, but it just felt like the players, it's just bigger than basketball,
Yeah.
You can watch a game and you can be like, oh, they're not a bunch of like homophobic, like racist, like, you know what I mean? Like people who beat their wives or what, not that everyone, but that was something that was always turning me off from other sports. So
yes, we are here to tell you that there are sports for everybody. You just have to seek them out. Yeah, because we are three very different humans, I think, the three of us. And we all have found like different things, but then also have all enjoyed the same things. So,
But this is why I think that it's so wild when people are like, just stick to your sport or something like that. I feel like the personalities and the it's sort of like music artists. It's like, if I know that you're into something that I'm into, it makes it so much more fun. Like you're a person to me.
Right. Yeah. These athletes are humans. So like they can discuss the other things they know about and relate to people.
Yeah. And the fact that they're just a group of like social justice oriented women is, I think that, that is something I would like to watch.
Into it.
I like that.
Yeah. I like that they're doing this.
Into it.
Awesome.
Should we do another?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
This one that's next on my list, I don't think there will be crossover because it did take me a good 15 minutes to remember specifically which match I was thinking about. It is tennis. As you recall, I was very excited to watch tennis because I understood it right away, which was not something that happened with soccer or basketball. Like
I had to have you explain tennis to me.
I could follow soccer and basketball, but like I don't know necessarily the rules. But tennis, I right away was like, oh, I get it, which is strange because it's very complicated and like unnecessarily so. But this specific match that I'm thinking about was one of the first that I watched. It was Coco Gauff versus Ons Jabeur. Did you guys remember that one? Did you watch that one at all?
I don't think so, but you
No.
said Coco, and I know who.
Yeah.
Coco.
You know Coco. Okay, so Coco Gauff. So this was the top seed open. I want to say it was the first thing that they did in the US with COVID happening, the first tennis that they played. It was the quarterfinal, and Coco was like about to lose. She lost the first set 6-4, I think, and then in the second set she was down.
I'm getting chills. Sorry.
Down 4-2.
Mhm.
Ons was ranked way higher than her, like ridiculously higher than her. She came back and won the game. So she came back and won that match. I think it was she won 6-4. So she held Ons Jabeur at her 4 and then came back and won 4 more games and then won the next set 6-1 to win the whole. It was very exciting for me to watch, and I was new to tennis, and I just was like, ooh, it made me be like, ooh, I like this sport.
Yeah.
You describing that, I'm like,
Literally, like I
that's
have
amazing.
goosebumps. Like
It was very exciting. So I loved that moment.
and she's the one that's 16. No.
Yeah, she's
Okay,
a
all right.
She's
teenager.
very young.
She's younger. I don't know
Yeah.
her exact age, but yeah, she's like just starting out in her career and like is able to have comebacks like that and like get wins. It's exciting to like watch somebody from the beginning of their career when you know they're going to have a long career, I think.
yeah.
There's also like a cool. She and Naomi Osaka played, right?
Like,
I
Yeah,
can't
do you
remember.
Or that was later?
I can't remember if they played I think they may have played each other in something. I don't remember exactly.
Gotcha. I feel like
who
there's
they
a picture in
were.
my mind of them like hugging or something, and
Yeah,
it's just very
it may have been.
cute
I
and
don't know
cool.
if it would have been the top seed open. It could have been the U.S. Open. I don't remember.
I know they
when it
played in the
happened.
US Open like last year or the year before, and Naomi beat Coco, and afterwards she like invited her to like be interviewed with
Yeah.
her afterwards, and it was like,
Yes, I do believe that one was
uplifting.
last year, but they may have. I don't know if they played each
Yeah.
other again this year.
I
can't
don't know.
recall.
Sorry, Julia. That was a roundabout way to just be like, I don't know.
No. My mind was going a million different directions. No, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it has like I think that just in general, it was. I weirdly find tennis calming to watch. Also, I don't know if it's just like the rhythm of it, and it's otherwise very quiet, and it's just like, yeah, and then like just I don't know. I don't play tennis. I did buy a tennis racket, haven't used it yet. This is a discus all over again.
In your defense, it's currently winter.
Currently,
It is. I did
Even though
get
you bought it before that.
Well, the problem is they were out of tennis rackets for much of COVID
because everyone wanted to be like,
wanted to
this
be
is a socially
an
distant
athlete.
sport.
Yeah, because the commercial said that it was safe. So I couldn't get one until it was like deep into fall.
Gotcha.
So next
Yeah.
year I'll dive into my tennis career.
That's
Jenny
good.
already
I think
told me
that's good.
she would play with me. So
Yeah.
you guys may also play with me because I'm going to need someone.
I'd love to. Anytime.
I do have a tennis racket, but it's very old.
Well,
Same.
they still,
But
I
I'll
think
play.
they still work.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Nice. Anyway, I enjoyed that moment.
Good. I wish I'd watched it, but
Same.
I didn't. Now I can go back and watch it, though.
We can go back. Yeah.
It was there when I was searching for which match in particular it was. You can watch it.
Perfect.
Okay, good. I think
love that.
another moment for me is like, of course, a series of moments, but there were like several really exciting WNBA buzzer beaters in games.
This is also on my list. One in
Okay.
particular for me. So
The
I'll
Shay
wait
Petty
until
buzzer beater.
Yes.
Yes. So Shay Petty was like, waived by the Washington Mystics and picked up by the Phoenix Mercury. And the Mercury and the Mystics were playing each other in like a knockout game in the playoffs. Like whoever won would go on to the next round, right?
Yes. It was
okay.
I think it was the first round.
Yes. So basically what happened, feel free to jump in, was that Mercury was down. There was only a few seconds left. They gave the ball to Shay Petty. She had someone coming at her. She kind of like dodged out of the way and she made a 3-point and won the game. And it was beautiful.
And I think that we didn't know, like nobody expected them to give the ball to Shay Petty.
Right.
So I think
it's like Diana Taurasi.
Yeah. She passed it to Skylar Diggins Smith, and then she passed it to Shay Petty all the way across the court, who then like did a fake to have someone leap over her and then hit the 3 at the buzzer to knock out the Mystics, who had just waived her less than a month before after she spent the whole time playing in the bubble with them. It was like, I would love to, like, it couldn't be written any better, I feel.
Yeah. It was very poetic.
Very beautiful. I did
and
read,
just like the look on her face after her new team came up and they were like, oh my shit. Like the look on her face was just like perfect.
You could tell it was one she will remember. I did read that when the Mystics waived her, they intended to re-sign her. And then and they like each had a verbal agreement on both sides, but then she signed with Phoenix instead. So they they waived her to make room. Yeah, they waived her to make room in the roster for someone.
Issue. Yeah. So they had to waive her. But I mean, a verbal agreement is not a
you didn't write that
money
down.
agreement. And I believe she just
don't like let her play. Right.
Yeah.
She just wants to play, I'm sure.
Right. And I believe that Phoenix just re-signed her to a longer contract recently. So
they just did like a week-long Instagram tribute to her, I saw, which
good.
Was cool.
Oh, cool.
I think it was a week. Could have been a day, felt like a week. It's been a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so also backstory of Shay Petty is she was drafted in 2012, I think, to the Fever, and then she always got waived. Like she always got cut from the roster every year. She would go overseas and play to get better. She'd come back. She'd get signed. I think she got cut 3 times. And then she got signed in 2019, played people were in Europe, but then when they came back in Europe, she got cut again and was working for the Mystics as an intern, like a coaching intern.
Yeah. So she's had like a long road.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And then, so like for this moment, and after like being in the most chaotic, stressful environment to play, I'm sure. Being in a bubble for months. She hits that buzzer beater was very cool.
I forgot about that coaching intern thing. Oh my gosh, that really does make it so much sweeter.
Yeah, and I want to say I couldn't find this, but I want to say that I read that maybe they told her she was going to play like a week before. They were like, I don't remember if that's someone fact check me on that, because I like to make things up.
Probably.
But we'll correct it in the next episode. I'll say I lied about that. I did make that up. But I want to say that they told her that she was going to be playing not long before the season started this year. Like she didn't know she was on the roster
for the Mystics.
Yeah, for the Mystics.
Gotcha. Yeah, because they had quite a few team members sit out the season.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And there's also a Jewel Lloyd buzzer beater against, I want to say it was like the Lynx. And it's like did her foot step out was she out of bounds, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
But they said she wasn't. I love that moment too, because I feel like on a team with like Stewie and Sue Bird, a lot of like conversation is always about them two, especially like Stewie coming back from this injury, Sue Bird, like she's old, that narrative.
Yeah.
So it was like so nice to see Jewel Lloyd like have that moment, because she's such a great player.
Yeah. She's one of them that I've been like, I like Jewel Lloyd. She's good from the very beginning.
She's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was nice.
Oh, go ahead,
And
Julia.
when-
Yours is more important than mine.
No,
certainly.
I don't know that that's true. I was just going to say it. And when Sue Bird was injured for like, a significant chunk of the season, Jewel Lloyd stepped in as like, the starting point guard and was just like incredible.
Yes, she did. Or was it Jordan Canada? Was the
Oh, it was Jordan
Yeah, it was
Canada.
Jordan Canada.
Jewel
But
Lloyd-
Jewel Lloyd also good.
Yeah.
All good.
But I think with like Sue Bird out and Stewie was out for a couple games too,
Yeah.
that like kind of gave Jewel Lloyd too the opportunity to like step up more and like, because she had a game where she hit like 40 points or something ridiculous.
Yes, she played a very large role in the season.
Yeah, she's the gold mamba, so whatever.
She is.
Gold Mamba.
What I was going to say was just a little Jewel Lloyd tangent that I've been stressed about for days, because that's what happens to me when I use social media. Do you guys, when you're scrolling through Instagram stories, like you have to does it bother you that there's stories left? I can't have an email inbox or like I have to have, so I just scroll through them really fast.
Like,
you know what I mean? Like I just tap through them. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
In doing it, I very often accidentally tap on reactions, like quick reactions. I can't stop myself.
oh no, what'd you do?
It was a totally appropriate reaction, but I have accidentally sent crying reactions to people's stories all the time. But I did. I sent a fire reaction to. It was a picture of Stacey Abrams, so I stand by it. But to Jewel Lloyd, and I feel very weird about like messaging humans I don't know. Like even though that, like I'm sure people do it nonstop at them and they like don't read it, and like that isn't even a message, and it was totally appropriate. But this whole time I've been like, oh, I responded to Jewel Lloyd and I don't know her, and that's weird.
I know, I feel that way too.
I don't like it.
So funny. There's no way she's out. So she didn't respond, right?
No,
No,
Why
because
would
this
she?
stuff happens. I was making sure that was the end of the story.
It was
I don't
the
go,
story.
well, it's
Now
fine.
I've
And
just
then,
been in my head about it for
and then
days.
she blocks you.
Like, how dare she respond appropriately to my picture of Stacey Abrams?
Oh my god, so funny.
Anyway, hi Jewel.
Hi, Jewel.
Hi, Jewel.
Thanks so
We
much
love
for your
you.
work and your buzzer
Yeah.
beater.
And your buzzer beater.
Well, I'm gonna do. This is my fourth one on my list. But because I feel like we're on this path, I'm doing. Courtney Vander Sloot breaks the assist record.
Yes.
In a game against the Indiana Fever. I'll finish the sentence with the person to score on her assist was her wife, Allie Quigley, which is just like a cool moment all around. So Vander Sloot's record before that was like 15 assists in a game, which she had done like multiple times, but had never gotten past that. And the record was 16, I think, held by I wrote this down, Tisha Penichiero.
Yeah.
And from a while ago. And so she got 18 assists in this one frickin' game. And
And it was very cool.
that's wild.
Yeah.
And they obviously won. When I was like sort of recalling this, I was just kind of looking it up, making sure I had my facts right. The article I was reading was from CBS Sports. Jack Maloney is the author. Let's shout out our journalists. But there's a quote. He was basically saying that Indiana Fever was god awful on defense that game.
Oh no.
But that nothing should overshadow this like really iconic achievement. And the quote, no one's going to look back in the record books and say it doesn't count because the Fever can't guard anyone. Plus Vander Sloot threw the record-breaking assist to her wife, Allie Quigley. It doesn't get any better than that.
It was exciting. And also, do you remember like in the playoffs, Sue Bird then almost beat that new record, and like you wanted
she
her
set
to,
a new
but then,
playoff record. Yeah.
It was like you wanted her to, but also you're like, oh, Sue, don't.
No, Sue,
Yeah.
come on.
Sue.
Yeah. Well,
Save
and
it
that
until
was
next year or something.
yeah. She got I think 16 in the playoff, and that was a record for like a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
But also, she totally could have because she spent like a lot of the fourth quarter on the bench because they were up by quite a few points. So she totally theoretically could have, but I'm glad she didn't, because
I know
that was a record that was very long standing. So that was cool to see. That was on my list too, Julia. Remember when you found out that they were wives?
Yeah,
and
it might have been
was
that
not a
game.
Yeah, and Allie
think it
Quigley's not a
was.
rookie.
Oh yeah, that was first. I found out so much about Allie Quigley this year.
She's married.
Oh boy, yeah,
not
she's good.
22.
Not a rookie. Yeah.
I don't know. And yeah, anyway, shout out to her, shout out to them all.
Shout out to the Chicago Sky.
Shout out to Chicago
I
Sky.
do
I
love
didn't
the
even say
Chicago
this was-
Sky. I find them to be a lovely team.
They are.
Just by I again don't know them. I don't know if they're lovely or not, but they seem to enjoy each other, and I like that.
Their content was really good during the Wobble.
Yeah.
Their team
Also,
content.
Does Sydney Colson play for the Sky?
Yeah.
She does, right?
Yeah.
She's very funny. I'm a fan.
So funny.
Yes, she's
so
hilarious.
funny. Oh my god,
she
keeps saying like she's gonna start doing stand up or something.
She's like posted some on Instagram, and
very
it
good.
makes me laugh. And she
very
just does
good.
like sketch videos. I like someone who like merges my interests for me too,
see?
and then entertains me with both of them.
Totally. Yeah.
Don't
she's
stay in
very
your
funny.
lane. Get in a lot of different lanes because we like that.
Have several lanes.
Have like one of those motorcycles with like a bunch of sidecars so you can be in like several lanes.
Take them all up. Okay, next one.
Katie, you go ahead, because I feel like we're gonna.
I just went.
Oh, I don't know.
Really just
Who
went.
cares? Who cares? Let's break
I feel like here's one that we're all gonna agree on, and this is very general. It's not a specific moment, but I will say that my number one on my list, even though we didn't rank them, but this was like my first, like, obviously, was just the whole Challenge Cup.
Totally.
Like the whole thing,
Yeah,
the whole
such a
tournament.
good one.
Oh,
The
sorry.
whole thing.
Yeah, I think that's like what, first of all, like started this all is us just like sitting like, and this was like started deep into pandemic when Michigan's rules and New York's rules were like the most strict, and you could not do anything or go anywhere.
Yeah.
And we like still didn't really know anything about COVID. And so everyone was just like a stressed out mess. And then like suddenly here is this like tournament that's like perfectly executed and run that we now all have the time to watch and like can take, and it's like scheduled the same times every week, and we can make it work. Good. And it's like finally
we can
like
watch
bringing
them.
this order. Yeah, it's bringing this order into our lives.
Yes.
That like there's something to look forward to, and at this time I know I'm going to be able to do this, and it'll be like a break from the horrible situation.
Sorry, I can't. I'm watching soccer with Mary Beth and Katie.
Right. I've got to text Julia right now. Someone prepare me my hydration break, queso and chips, and I will eat that, and I will watch the soccer, and I won't understand. Like, you guys are going to have to explain to me what's going on, but like, it turns out then I learned that I liked soccer. That's like how now we got into watching all of these sports. I think is like that was a way to like dive in deeper and be like, oh, I like this is fun.
Totally.
But yeah, I think just like the way that like these and all of the different sports and like every league can all like provide, I think, that same sort of like, that's what sports are to people, are like a reprieve. And so I don't know. Thank you, athletes.
Yeah.
Seriously, though, that was really helpful in a time where I was like, where it was hard to tell like the difference, like what day it was, you know, like,
like, ooh, it's Friday at 10 p.m. Got to turn on soccer.
Yeah, that was super helpful, and just it was fun. It was fun to watch, and it was fun to get invested in that.
Yeah, and then just like that time to actually pay attention to all of the games and like like learn kind of a quick little boot camp with Julia at the ready to tell me what's happening.
Gladly. Well, and a lot of the rules I don't remember. Not a lot of them, but
you knew the basic rules of like Why'd she
Kick
kick
the
it to that
ball.
person?
Oh, yeah. Strategy. Yeah, I'll talk that all day. But it was also just cool. Like, I think in the way that you were saying tennis calms you, I think watching soccer calms me. Not because my heart gets going, but it's just like it just makes me, this could be because I played it my whole life, but it just gives me a really warm feeling. And I just feel good about it. And also,
you,
I
Sassy.
agree.
Yeah. And I think this season represented sort of, first league to successfully play their entire tournament with 0 positive cases. They just really did it right and set an example for.
Yeah. Yeah, they were the first, and they also had, you can opt out and you can still get paid your salary. So yeah, it
which
was
is great
fun.
to be like, hey, you don't have to come do this very risky
And risk your
activity
health. Yeah.
During a
when we don't know what's going on at this time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, that started in June. That was right, beginning of June. That was still so I feel like the pandemic had exploded in Michigan, New York, and New Jersey, I feel. And it hadn't made it to other places yet. And that's right when it was then starting to spread everywhere else. So
totally.
It's crazy to think about. It's just ooh. And it was nice too that when the Challenge Cup ended, a week later, the Wobble was starting and they started playing games. So it was what do we do now? And it was the WNBA. It was just
watch
perfect
3
timing.
games a day.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, the Wobble is also on my list of sports moments because the Wobble was, there was a lot of content from the Wobble.
Yes.
In a way that there wasn't the same level of content from the Challenge Cup, because players could still kind of see each other in the Wobble, and they weren't allowed to talk to other teams in the Challenge Cup bubble.
Right. Yeah. Also, I would say the commentary and the from the Wobble, the balance that they did of covering the heavy moments that are going down, but then B, being look at Bill Lampier's headband, making a whole journey of Bill Lampier's haircut
his headband
and his stupid hair.
Yeah, remember when Holly Rowe went and got us that content, watching him get his haircut?
Yeah,
putting her life on the line. Not
she,
really. But
she
to
really
give
went there.
the people what they want. She really,
she did break her arm riding a bike trying to get more content.
Very much.
Thank you, Holly.
Yeah. One of my favorite Holly Rowe reporting moments. This stands out to me for some reason. I thought it was so funny. I think it was Rebecca Lobo and maybe Ryan Rucco. Maybe it was those two talking about I can't remember who it was. It maybe was Alicia Clark because she always wears long sleeves. Someone was wearing long sleeves and they were
Clark.
why isn't she hot? Why is she wearing that? How does she play? I would never be able to play. Maybe there's something we don't know. Let's go to Holly Rowe. And she's like, guys, it's cold in here. I'm wearing a jacket. This is a soundstage. And then they're just oh. And that was it.
That was great. Yeah.
Let's go to Holly Rowe.
You guys, it's cold. I've got to go now.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great. I love her.
Feels like a family.
It feels like a damn family. But I think with the Wobble too, one of my favorite moments, I had this written down, but it wasn't one I was going to mention, but since it's here, was the Diana Taurasi, I'll see you in the lobby, and the Sue Bird, Indiana Fever beef, where she's I don't think they thought about the fact that they'd see me in the lunch line. Just the little beefs
basically,
that came up. Yeah.
We're neighbors.
The drama. I love the drama. Yeah.
Yes.
It was fun.
Oh man. We've almost touched on 2 of my moments.
Well, hit us with them.
Okay, first I'll do a touch more with Diana Taurasi in particular. And I didn't watch
all of the touch more.
So all of a touch more, which I didn't watch. And I barely even watched.
That is Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe's Instagram show that they did during
early on before they played, right? It was pre.
Yeah, it was in
it was when everyone was doing Instagram lives. Yeah,
May.
No one knew what was going on, so they all turned to Instagram.
Totally.
I would literally stay up Friday night or Saturday nights. I forget what day it was, just to watch that.
And
Great.
I did last night because I had started watching the one with Diana Taurasi. By the way, these are all available on YouTube and also as a podcast. But it's worth it to watch, I think, the Diana Taurasi one. It's 4 hours long, and I got maybe 2 hours.
Do they have the whole thing?
have
I
the
did watch.
whole
I think
ass
that
thing.
day I did watch the entire 4 hours. I didn't watch them all, but that one I did
I
watch,
watched
and
it
I was like,
that
they are
day.
just
I was
going.
riveted the entire time. It's so cool to just, I was just watching them all hang out.
Yeah.
Which is like
It
what
was
you
funny,
needed
like-
at that time because you couldn't hang
Mhm.
out with anyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
I watched it like initially like live, like on Instagram.
Uh-huh.
And then I watched
phone
the
died.
well, my phone died. No, but then I like watched the WNBA and then I watched it again and I was like, oh, this is like who they're talking about. Like
I get it.
I was like, this makes so much more sense.
Yeah,
Like
who these
it was
people are.
crazy.
I think Diana Taurasi is fascinating to watch. Watch do anything. Watch her play, watch her talk. I just think that like the way she just kind of like moves through the world, she's not thinking about what she looks like ever. And she just like, I don't know, everything about her is magnetic to me.
Mhm. She is magnetic.
Yeah.
She has like, I hate this term, but she kind of has like big dick energy, but it's
Yeah.
not that because it's more than that.
Yeah.
But like,
Totally.
I think that's like an accessible term for people that to like describe her. But she's got
They
a
go-
swagger too.
They go, rapid fire question. Diana, how many how many MVPs have you won or whatever? She goes, not enough. Keeps
Also,
drinking her
am I
wine.
remembering?
Yep.
Am I remembering?
But it's not even a
correctly?
joke.
Right.
She's dead fucking serious.
Yeah.
And she's probably right.
Am I remembering correctly that all of her, because they did it, and I've watched a few of them. They did all rapid fire questions for like all of their guests. Were all her rapid fire questions like 20 minutes long?
She goes,
Her
Yeah, her answers were like, it was not rapid fire.
that's
at
a
all.
funny thing about that. D, this is a rapid fire question.
One word.
You want me to
answer.
tell the story or not?
They're like, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
Well, and it goes on for so long that at one point Megan Rapinoe is like has had too much to drink that she gets like mad that it's still going on. She has left
really
left
goes
the
to bed.
screen and she's like laying on the couch and like you hear her, Sue's like still talking to Diana and Penny and you hear Megan being like, is this still happening? And Sue's just like, she's just mad that it's still going on.
I can relate
So-
to
I
that.
want to go to bed.
I absolutely
can
relate.
totally
to that
relate.
behavior.
That's so relatable. But it was so funny.
Yeah,
my
and
God.
I do like enjoy watching an Instagram live between people that I don't know who either of them are. I find it like a weird, like, oh, tell me about your lives, and then I'll move on with my life, not caring because I don't know you.
Yeah.
Especially
And
that
imagine
time.
if you did care.
Yeah, I also was very into haircut Instagram lives at that time, and they did do one where Sue cuts Megan's hair, and I watched it. Like I watched so many, even like watched Danielle Fishel, who plays Topanga, give her husband a
Oh, yeah.
haircut. I watched so many haircut Instagram lives.
Huh?
And it led me to being able to talk my sister into cutting her husband's hair via FaceTime because I'm like, okay, this is how you do it.
Oh,
Seriously,
my
I
God,
watched
love
some of
that.
those too because my dad made me cut his hair.
Yeah, that one
so
specifically because they brought in their hairstylist on the live to talk them through how to do it, to talk
Yep.
her through how to do it.
Anna Touch More or Topanga?
Anna
Anna
Touch
Touch
More. Topanga's
Name's
was a little
Rihanna.
more chaotic.
Wait, her hairstylist, is that
I have no idea who it is.
oh, okay.
It's
I'm
her name's
sure it was
Rihanna,
Rihanna.
one of the-
Yeah.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
but
and she
not like
comes in,
Rihanna.
No, yeah.
not-
Spelled
With a
differently.
W. There's a W. in there.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, I love a
Yeah.
haircut Instagram live. I love people that I don't know chatting.
Mhm.
And
And they like that specifically that A Touch More with Diana. There's some shade that is dropped and it's I like it. I think
I didn't even
they
get to all
got
of
too
it.
comfortable and forgot they were on live.
broadcasting too.
Nothing
Can you
like
go
crazy.
over some of it?
I mean, I don't remember all of it, but they talk about like who their rookie, like who they think are going to be the best rookies. And I think Sue says Kennedy Carter and Diana says Sabrina. And then Sue calls Diana a pussy for picking Sabrina because it's like the easy, like
A
of course she's
mainstream.
gonna- yeah, like, and so that was
And they both
funny.
got hurt, and it was Crystal Dangerfield.
Exactly.
So who would've known?
Yeah.
Yep.
Totally.
Yeah. But there's a couple other moments like that where it's like, this is funny.
Yeah, let's bring Instagram Lives back, everybody, for pandemic, because I did spend much of my night times just popping into the lives of other people and watching them chat.
Yeah. There's like a informality to it, but I think watching it also, why I put it on there is like, one, it was kind of jarring to see like there's no one else involved. It's just these three people. There's no like producers. There's no anything. And these are just like entertainers. They're sports players,
Right.
but it's kind of back to like an original point we made early on in the podcast about like how they all, especially female athletes, have to also be entertainers. And it was kind of wild, just like how I didn't feel worthy of watching it. I was just like,
Yeah.
how is this on something? It's not like
Like, I
they're
can't
like
believe-
incredible
yeah.
actresses or anything like that, but it was just, I was like in the presence of such icons. They're just talking and I'm like allowed to just watch it. This is wild.
It almost like gives you the false sense that like you're just like all like friends sitting around a dinner table and like you're too drunk to talk, so you're just listening.
Yeah. You're just sitting here.
If I watch enough of them, I'll feel comfortable responding with quick reaction emojis. to
Yeah,
their-
exactly.
The only qualm I had with it is that they just kept talking about how like they used to be fat or something, or like
Oh,
they kept
baby fat
talking about being
ballers.
fat. Yeah, and they just kept like calling themselves like fat asses, and just like I get that like there's
Yeah.
an in shape to whatever. But I'm just like very much over the narrative that like fat is negative, and
Yeah.
I just want to put that out there. If anyone does watch that
I
and
agree
then
with that,
starts
yeah.
getting triggered by that, just know that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They do that for sure. Yeah, they talk about how like when they were in Russia, they just like ate like a ton of like butter and stuff.
Yeah.
Like didn't care, like weren't thinking
Totally.
about how they had to be like elite athletes, and now that they're
Mhm.
like older, they have to like consider that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
they totally
it was very like you were fine.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
like look at a picture and like, you're not fat. You're just
Yeah.
like,
You know?
you're
Yeah.
not. And even if you were like, you're still a great athlete. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a lot of awesome stories. And I know Katie has said this, you both have said this months ago, but as a moment to recap that I've now
Agreed.
finally watched it, it's like very fun to like hear all these stories.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should probably do these like
I have one that's like it's a moment, but it's more like the visual of it that I really sticks in my mind as like a 2020 moment. It's when Naomi Osaka won the US Open and she just like laid down on the court and the like drone camera was above her, just like that was like I just feel like that was like an iconic 2020 sports moment. Nobody in the stands. She's just like, I did.
Like watching it wash over her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, you know, as like, I'm sure like as a Black athlete, like there's this like, with all the stuff that was going on in our, and goes on, whether or not people pay attention to it, it's
Right,
just like
right.
takes a heavy toll. So I don't know, I could just like, you could just kind of like feel her like relief, like I fucking did it.
Right.
Like,
To like carry like that heavy load and then also play your best and win against like the world's best tennis
Yeah.
players, and then like just like take a minute for yourself. And I know
Yeah.
that like in past episodes we always joke about like even like the wobble, where we would be like, I want to live in the wobble, like seems nice, but
Right.
like also the stress that would have still been in that environment, even though there were amenities, is like across the
Right.
board for all of the bubbles for all of the sports. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
yeah, it was cool to see like that relief and see her win. And we were all, I think, all rooting for her to win, weren't we? at that
yeah.
point. Like I don't remember if there was anyone that wanted. I don't remember who she
I
played.
think it was that Azarenka.
Oh,
Is that her name?
yeah.
With
Yeah.
the interesting outfits.
Is she the one that took
It was
out
also
Serena
great.
Williams?
Yes.
Also great.
Yeah.
She was, yeah.
Who was
And she was,
also
like-
great.
Of course.
It was also great.
They all good.
Yeah, they're all good. And they're all well dressed. But
yeah.
Azarenka has
Oh
some
man,
cute-
there's a moment
cute
where
outfits.
Serena comes out with like, remember she had like that red like robe thing on that she came out and
Yes.
like revealed her outfit, and I was like, yes, I
Oh
love
my
it.
god.
Yeah.
We do. Well, we love a sport. We also love the outfits they wear, and
She's been
we'll talk about
That's, like,
killing it
part
on
of it.
Instagram lately.
She
Yeah.
she is. There's something where she was like, some people say I don't post enough of my training, and she was like doing a dance, and I love that.
The body, yeah.
I'm like, give them nothing, Serena. You do you.
Yeah, they deserve nothing.
But
You
she
love
just
it,
started
no one
dancing.
knows.
It was
Yeah.
it was genuinely funny.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, just keep shouting them out now. We're doing rapid fire until
Rapid fire.
we have to leave. Until our producers
Okay,
say
I do
that we're
have
done.
one more.
Let's
Sorry,
hear
guys,
it.
to be double in a row.
Don't be sorry.
My
I
list
think
is
it-
bare, so I'm just
Okay.
remembering things now.
I think it should be mentioned that Christine Sinclair broke the all-time goal scoring record on the international level,
Yes.
Yes.
man or woman. She surpassed Abby Wambach's record, so now
Yes.
she's the number one goal
Yes, she
scorer.
did. And I don't
That
think
was
that
over the summer?
she-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That was earlier in the year.
It was at some
Like
point.
I think it was like
She did do
She
it.
Believes or like qualifiers, Olympic qualifiers. It was earlier in
Okay.
2020.
Gotcha.
I don't think that Christine Sinclair gets enough credit in
Yeah.
the United States of America because she's Canadian, and so she doesn't play for the national team, so nobody pays attention to who she is, but she is good.
Yeah. In
She's
terms of
good,
fandom.
yeah.
In terms of fandom, I think all the players
good.
are like,
Right,
well,
you're right, but like,
Christine
yeah.
Sinclair.
So as far as the fans of soccer in
because
the United States, I mean, and then
I
I'm sure
think
there
if you're
are
a Thorns
several,
fan,
You
you
know,
get
yeah,
her.
exactly.
But also, if you're if you just watch like the U.S. team, you're gonna fucking hate Christine Sinclair because she
Yeah.
is a
Yes.
pain in the ass.
And they call
She
Canada their
scores,
biggest
and she's
rivals.
good. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
They call
They have, like, a
they say the
long-standing
team that
rivalry.
they always want to beat is Canada.
Oh man, every sport says that, and at the same time, I'm like, oh Canada, I love you.
I know.
Like, let me hop
Yeah.
over for like a little trip to Toronto for a minute, and I'll go home happy.
Canada's
Yeah.
great.
I
Yeah,
love
I mean,
Canada.
in
Canada.
sports though.
Yeah,
dare
they
you.
and that, yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I
yeah.
think that's a great one. She's very
She's
good.
very good. She's been in the sport for a long time, and she just like, I feel like from what I've seen, she just like keeps her head down and keeps going.
Yeah.
And again, I'm very new, so maybe that's wrong.
No,
You
I
can
think
let
there
us
are
know
certain-
if that's wrong. But
yeah, please write in.
Fine. That's a fine. Yeah.
But on that note of underrated kind of all-stars, they were talking about on A Touch More with Diana Taurasi, Katie Smith, who's she played for the Shock, and I had
Yes.
a poster of Katie Smith in my room. I literally think it might still be there.
Oh my
Still
god,
in
you
your-
have to find it.
I
hang
will
it up
find
in
it.
your room now. Go home, retrieve it.
I'll
Bring
try
it to
and
New
find
York.
it. I got it free from a game one time, but she really was
Isn't she like an assistant coach on the Lynx now or something?
something like that. That sounds familiar.
Go to a Lynx game, get her to sign it.
But it was sort of, it was like, it was like an in-between generation sort of thing. But anyway, underrated players we do stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A moment for me on soccer, Houston Dash winning the Challenge Cup. And in that, like, the full moment of the Challenge Cup, we
yeah.
already talked about that. The Houston Dash celebration, I feel like, is a huge,
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
excited.
that
beautiful moment.
totally bears mentioning. Yeah. Yes.
There is an hour and 25 YouTube video. Someone compiled all of the Houston Dash
Like-
player stories from Instagram
Oh,
and
that's
put
amazing.
it in a video.
Those
That's a
people
lot of
that
work.
do that shit, they deserve
You put in a lot of
everything.
work.
There's a
Exactly.
video on YouTube of just Ashlyn Harris's like celebrations from after they won the World Cup in 2019, and it's
Oh,
very
man.
funny. I'm gonna have to
Okay,
find
I'll
it
have
and
to
send
look
it to you
that up.
guys.
Please do. But yeah, the celebration in general, things that stuck out were, wow, the promo for Budweiser and that.
I know. And
Hell yeah.
every soccer game in the US anywhere, there's Budweiser.
Totally. Of course, Christy Mewis going ham. Everybody going ham. There's a moment where Allie Chapman, a few moments where she just has like shorts on her head and she's just like walking around the.
Yeah, her shirt is off. Like,
yeah, she's in nothing, like spandex, no shirt, and just shorts on her head. And she's carrying this like Budweiser sign, and she's just like in videos, like
just in the background.
Yeah.
That like I feel like if you were to tag yourself in this video, that would be me.
It literally reminded me of you.
I would behave that way.
It
absolutely.
literally reminded me of you for sure.
I didn't watch like any of I'll have to look this up. I didn't watch any of their celebrations, but that does like just you describing it as like, oh, I did that shit in college.
Yeah. I feel like I would enjoy watching in terms of like celebrations, like the WNBA benches getting all hype and stuff is a little more like contained, like it's a little bit. I'd like to see that celebration and like the sparks before a game, all just like getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
The how do I say this? The Dashes celebration was a little uncoordinated.
it was chaos. It was pure chaos.
Pure chaos, but it was like very fun to
They had a good time.
see. And I think the main thing, it sort of represented the Dashes Challenge Cup run. No national players, kind of like an underrated team themselves. We called them Mean Girls, and then they just kind of like put the season together with at the front of it, Christy Mewis, Shea Groom, Jane Campbell, and Rachel Daly. And it was just like, and all the other players, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, that was fun for sure. I think there was also, there was like I have two more moments.
Okay.
One is during Olympic qualifiers. I think it was Olympic qualifiers. There was this like really beautiful goal from Kristen Press, like at the top of the box. So she just like, and that goal was amazing, but also like the commentator, Sebastian Salazar, his excitement and his like, he just was like, Golazo, Kristen Press, what have you done? And it was just like just really funny.
Pure.
Very pure.
I do remember that. The pre-pandemic pre-pandemic sports. Also,
Yes,
sorry, I keep calling it pandemic. I refuse to say
That's
pandemic.
what I refer to it as. That's what I refer to it
I've got to make light of the situation or it's too soul crushing.
Too soul crushing.
Yeah. Or else we'll never.
Speaking of
great in that
pre-pandemic
tournament, though, right? That
so
was
good.
that
She
one,
was-
right?
yeah,
She
she
believes
was
but
great.
the whole early year.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of my moments is the March 8th She Believes Cup, USA versus Spain at Red Bull Arena. In attendance that day, two like very, very important people were there. I feel like that it didn't get enough press.
No one was talking about it.
No one was talking about it, which was weird.
Weirdly.
But Katie and I were there.
Yep.
Did it.
So
Mhm.
probably where I got COVID. Just kidding. It was like 3 weeks later.
We also ate empanadas.
It was 3 weeks later you got
Empanadas.
COVID, or 3 weeks later after you had COVID you went?
No. She got COVID 3 weeks later.
I see.
But I remember I've
see.
said this before. I've said this before on the pod, but I remember like being on the New Jersey train, which I can't think of its name right now. The path. And me and Julia being like, should we be going to this? Like,
Is this something we should
We're
be
like,
concerned
isn't it
about?
wild?
but they didn't cancel it, so
No.
we went.
Yeah.
We were also
Um,
naive in March.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We didn't know.
But that was my
I did so many shows in March in crowded theaters.
Oh,
I
same.
had no idea. Yeah,
Same.
that was my last moment too, Julia.
Mm.
Even
Uh-oh.
though I did start to get really irritated because there were a lot of like people who kept like getting up in our row, making
Yeah.
us stand like
Always.
way too much, like way
This
too
isn't
much.
a
It
goddamn
was like,
baseball game. Sit
I
down.
know. So yeah.
But I love
that
it because
was-
I consider myself a little bit of a fair weather fan. I think I like get really into the national team. You know, in my life when they're Olympics and whatever.
Yeah.
And that was still like, I just, it's funny to think about, like, I still didn't know a lot. I still don't know a lot, but I
Neither
just
do
was
I.
like, this is, it's funny to think that I was just like, I saw them play.
They're
I
real
know.
people, and I
They're
saw them
real.
with my own eyes.
And I've seen them before. I do remember one time, this was in 2012, and I got Rachel Stevens and I went to see them play at like Ford Field or something. But anyway, a good moment.
I've not seen them play in person yet because I am the ultimate. I only started watching them after I watched the T regularly, which we've
Yes.
discussed. That I started watching them regularly after that, but before that, certainly just like at the Olympics or like World Cup, I would pop in and then. But
Yeah.
now
I think
I'm
that-
all in. I'll give them a watch.
Yeah. I think that's not all entirely your fault or
Yes.
our faults because they don't make it easy to
get
follow.
into it, which is like
Yeah.
our whole purpose of this. We've come full circle. Like we're making it easier. And now I think I know enough to know, I believe they're starting a camp today, right?
The
Like,
9th.
there's
Is it today?
Yeah, it's today the
I
9th.
don't have my watch on. I have no
I
idea.
have no idea.
It is the 9th. It is
the
January
9th.
9th, 2021.
Nice.
1:41 p.m.
Yeah, it's starting and it's going like 3 weeks or something. Anyway, yeah.
That's long.
So like I have immersed myself in the world enough to know that they're going to go have a long practice.
yeah, and they're gonna have
some
have
games
2
at the end, yeah.
friendlies too in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think they're
Televised, I'm assuming.
Yes.
I'm sure. I want to say they're the 18th and the 22nd, but again, that
I think
could
that
not
sounds
be
right
true.
to me.
Okay.
They're like on opposite ends of the same work week, but
Okay.
look it up, everyone.
And tweet about it
also
so you guys know when to watch.
Exactly. Follow us at She's Good Pod
Podcast on. Oh, we're mixing them.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, no,
She's
I
Good
know.
Pod on Instagram. She's Good
Instagram.
Podcast on Twitter.
On Twitter. Okay.
I think
Just
I don't know.
eliminate the
Just Google it.
Yeah, just
We
Google
can
us.
fix our Twitter so they match. Whatever.
I thought that it didn't have it. Well, no, I don't know. Who cares? But anyway, that's the end of our 2020
professional.
recap, everybody. I hope you enjoyed those moments, or at least listening to them as much as we enjoyed telling you them and watching them.
Yeah. Now I'm excited. I'm like amped up all over again. Now that we've like discussed all of the moments that have amped me up, I'm now like, ah.
Same.
I know. I'm
do
gonna go
love
like
it.
watch an old game or something on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, sounds good.
I'm gonna eat some lunch.
She's good.
I'll
Yeah,
send
me
you guys
actually
the
the same.
spreadsheet
I'm
I
gonna eat a
made.
snack.
Okay.
You're gonna what?
I'll send you guys the spreadsheet I made
Send the
about
spreadsheet.
games on YouTube.
Yeah, send it to all of us, all of our
Perfect.
listeners.
If anyone wants it, just tweet at me.
Tweet at us at She's Good Podcast.
We did it. These are our moments.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. And it's been a joy. We can't wait to do more. Thank you to Planet Ant Podcasts for letting us be part of your thing. And we'll see you shortly. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.